Significant level of apnea-hypopnea index. A more than 2, B more than 3, C more than 4, D more than 5. Correct answer D more than 5. Apnea-hypopnea index is the number of episodes during an hour, with each episode lasting more than 10 seconds. An AHI more than 5 is significant. Obstructive sleep apnea is due to the collapse of the pharyngeal airway during sleep. This obstruction could be partial, causing hypopnea, or complete, causing apnea. The pharyngeal airway does not collapse in the awake state due to reflex activation of dilator muscles. This reflex is lost during sleep, but hypercapnia due to the apnea during sleep can stimulate the respiratory drive and cause arousal to activate the reflex. Obstructive sleep apnea is associated with snoring and increased daytime somnolence. Apneic episodes can be associated with severe rise in blood pressure, even up to levels of 240 by 130 millimeters of mercury. This is associated with hypoxia, hypercapnia, and adrenergic activation in obstructive sleep apnea and can promote cardiovascular disease. Heart rate variability is reduced in those with obstructive sleep apnea. There is also release of endothelin, which could be reduced by giving continuous positive airway pressure. Oxidative stress and platelet activation also can occur in obstructive sleep apnea. Systemic inflammation with elevated C-reactive protein and endothelial dysfunction have been thought to be due to repeated episodes of apnea. Cardiac arrhythmias have also been correlated with episodes of obstructive sleep apnea. Apnea and hypoxemia have been thought to initiate bradyarrhythmias by eliciting the dive reflex causing vagal activation. Atrial fibrillation and ventricular premature complexes have been associated. Though there were initial reports of benefit from atrial pacing in sleep apnea, this was not demonstrated in subsequent studies. Other associations due to hypoxia are nocturnal angina, pulmonary hypertension, and renal disease. Paget-Shorter syndrome is A. Compression of the left iliac vein, B. Thrombosis of deep veins of upper limb, C. Thrombosis of deep veins of lower limb, D. Thoracic outlet syndrome. Correct answer B. Thrombosis of the deep veins of the upper limb. Paget-Shorter syndrome is the spontaneous thrombosis of the deep veins of the upper limb, axillary or subclavian. The syndrome was described independently by von Shorter in 1884 and by Paget in 1875. Paget-Shorter syndrome is also known as effort thrombosis because it is often associated with activities involving hyperabduction of the upper limbs. Sudden jerky movements cause the axillary vein to be crushed between the clavicle and the first rib. This can damage the intima of the vein and initiate thrombosis. The syndrome is also associated with thoracic outlet syndrome due to similar compressive reasons. Painful swelling of the limb is an important manifestation of the Paget-Shorter syndrome. The diagnosis is confirmed by compression ultrasonography or venography. Treatment is by thrombolysis and anticoagulation. Surgical options are needed only for those with persistent symptoms of thoracic outlet compression. Important differential diagnoses include lymphangitis, lymphatic obstruction, and intramuscular hemorrhage. Compression of the left iliac vein by the crossing iliac artery at the iliocaval junction is known as May-Turner syndrome. The compression increases the risk of deep vein thrombosis and may cause varicosities in the affected limb and ulcers due to chronic venous stasis. Narrow P waves are seen in A. Sinus rhythm, B. Retrograde activation through lateral pathways, C. Retrograde activation through septal pathways, D. None of the above. Correct answer C. Retrograde activation through septal pathways. P waves are narrower if the activation is from the center of the heart, as in AV and RT, or subtle accessory pathways because of simultaneous activation of both atria. Sinus P waves and P waves due to retrograde activation through lateral pathways have broader P waves as there is only sequential activation of atria. Peak P waves in right atrial overload in the absence of associated left atrial overload also appear narrow. This is because of the relatively narrow though normal base of the P wave, which is taller than normal. In right atrial enlargement, the initial component of the P wave is enhanced as the sinus node is situated in the right atrium itself. When the left atrium is not simultaneously enlarged, there is no widening of the P wave beyond the normal limit. But if there is associated left atrial enlargement, as the left atrial activation occurs mostly after the right atrial activation, it is not superimposed on the right atrial activation, resulting in a notched, wide P wave in lead 2. The P wave may appear narrow and peaked in presence of tachycardia. This is part of shortening of all intervals with tachycardia, leading to shortening of the P wave duration as well. Narrowing of the base of the P wave with tachycardia makes the P waves sharp and simulate right atrial enlargement. Faults about Dressler beats. A. Seen in ventricular tachycardia. B. Fusion beats. C. Named after William Dressler from Poland. D. Wider than the tachycardia beats. Correct answer D. Wider than the tachycardia beats. Dressler beat, named after William Dressler from Poland, is a fusion beat interrupting ventricular tachycardia. Fusion beats are recognized by narrower QRS complexes than that of the tachycardia. It is the result of fusion of the ventricular tachycardia beat with a supraventricular beat which could be originating from the sinus node or any other supraventricular focus. The presence of fusion beats, that is Dressler beats, along with capture beats, strongly support the diagnosis of ventricular tachycardia in a wide QRS tachycardia. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel for future updates and click on the bell icon for all updates. Thank you.